Trinity's Treats tutorials. Today I'm going to show you how we're going to fill and ice our cake to get a really smooth finish. First you want to start off with the cake boards. When you get these cake boards, most of them I get are from Wilton. You'll see that they have like lines in them. What you want to do is use 2 cake boards. I always use 2 cake boards, but depending upon how heavy your cake may be, you may need to use 3, sometimes 4, but normally 2 is good, especially like if it's just a regular light dessert cake. So you want to take your tape. I'm using some double-sided tape here, but you can use regular tape. Just make a little loop so that it sticks together. Like I said, the boards have like little lines on them. You want to alternate the direction of your lines. So like this board, the lines are going this way. This board, I'm going to have them going this way. What that does is it adds a little bit of extra strength to your cake boards so that it's nice and sturdy. Okay? Then we're going to take just a little dollop of icing and put it in the center here. In the previous video, I showed you how to make like little steam moisture packs for your cakes. So these have come to room temperature now. So we're going to go ahead and take these out. And I'm just going to put it, you can do it with the bottom side down or up, just depending on how you're feeling. Alright, and then you're going to add a dollop of dollop of icing. This is reminding me of ice cream because it's really hot outside and I want some ice cream now. So you're just going to take it and you're going to smooth it. I like to use an offset spatula, one that's like this, because it makes it easier to handle, to spread your icing versus using like a butter knife or anything like that. You can get these from from any craft store or cake supply store. You can find them online. Like I said, I just like these a little bit better than using a butter knife. It gives you a better angle. So you just want to take it and spread it around, all the way around. I like to go close to the edge. You can go over the edge. It really doesn't matter since it's gonna be the same kind of icing on the outside as well. If I were doing any kind of filling, like a fruit filling or a chocolate filling, I would pipe a dam around it, which is a ring of icing that will hold it in before I put the filling inside. So I'll show you how to do that in another video. But for this one, we're just going to use buttercream filling. So for my top layer cake, I like to do it with the bottom side down. So you just take it, press it down a little bit. Then there are 2 ways you can do this. You can do a thin crumb coat. And a crumb coat, what that does is it just, sometimes like when you're icing cakes and you don't want crumbs and stuff showing on the surface of your icing. So you'll do a thin layer that's called a crumb coat, and it helps to just lock the crumbs in place. Now whenever you're doing your thin layer, you're going to be able to like see through your cake, and that's okay, that's what you want to do. You don't necessarily have to do a crumb coat. Once you get comfortable with icing your cakes, you can do it, you'll be able to ice your cakes without crumbs getting on the surface. You just have to use a lot of icing, and then you'll take it back off with a bench scraper. But I'll show you how to do that on another video too. But for this one, I'm going to assume that all of you are beginners, and we're just going to do a crumb coat. So just going to go around and around and seal in those crumbs. Okay. You want to be sure also whenever you're using your spatula, your big spatula to get the icing out of your icing bowl, make sure that you're not transferring the crumbs back to your main icing bowl, because that's just going to defeat the purpose of even doing a crumb coat, because now you got big chunks of crumbs in your icing bowl. Alright, so once we get to the top, we're just going to smooth it out like this. This is why it really helps to have a turntable. If you don't have a professional turntable, you can use like a little Lazy Susan or anything like that that you can find in the kitchen section of most home stores. So I'm just going to go back around with my palette knife here and get that thin layer. Okay. Next, I'm going to pop this in the freezer and let it firm up for a little bit. You don't have to pop it in the freezer. You can let it sit at room temperature until it gets a crust on it. And basically what the crust is like when you can touch it, like right now if I touch it, I can see my fingerprints in it. That's what you don't want. You want to be able to touch it and it's kind of more firm. That's how you know you have a nice crust and you're ready to go on to the next layer. Okay, so we're just going to assume that I already have this crusting, and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and put the next layer on here. So you're going to put a lot of icing on your cake, okay? Don't be scared. We're going to take this off. This just ensure that you get a good smooth coat of icing. So you're going to put it on there to where it looks like you're just putting way too much sugar on your cake. Like I said, don't worry. We're going to take it back off. It's all good. Don't freak out. So we're going to go around and around. You want to make sure that you're getting it down to your cake board as well. That way it helps your cake stay in place and you create a nice flawless scene. Okay. The icing that I'm using, you can use any recipe. This one's called a decorator's icing. It's a crusting buttercream, and basically what that means is that you can either use all vegetable shortening like a Crisco, or you can use half Crisco, half butter. I prefer to use half Crisco, half butter. It is totally up to you. But what the Crisco does is it allows it to stiffen up a little bit. That way you can decorate with it. Because if you ever tried to decorate do any kind of decorations with like the tubs of icing that you buy from the store, they don't hold up very well because they don't have anything like a crusting agent in it. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I'm building my my outer layer of frosting, that I'm coming up a little bit above the top of the cake. You want to create like a little wall, okay? You want to create a wall of icing. Like I said, you're going to take this icing off, take a lot of it off, so don't get freaked out about how much icing you're putting on it, okay? Then you're going to take a dollop on top, and what you're doing like quick back and forth motions, kind of like a figure eight, okay? You're going to push it out to the edge to kind of meet your outer wall, okay? Put some more icing on it. If you go to Wilton's website, or if you go to cakecentral.com and just look up crusting buttercream, you can find so many different recipes out there, and then just kind of play around with the flavors. There's no particular flavor that you have to use whenever you're doing this. So you can add strawberry, you can add almond, you can add vanilla, you can add any flavor you want. Just make it your own. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I have it's like an icing scraper, or sometimes you can find these tools that have the different edges on it. I'm going to use the flat side of it. You're just going to take your cake. You want to start, kind of do like a one swift motion, and you're going to just rotate it. Make sure that the bottom edge of your scraper is flush with your cake board. That way your sides are straight. Okay, now you may be okay with it being smooth like this. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I like for it to be super uber smooth. So after we finish this step, I'm going to show you how to get it like totally flawless where it looks like fondant. Okay, then on the top, you want to take your palette, and then you're going to come in. So from the edge, you're just going to do a swift little motion like this, and you're going to bring it to the center. Okay? Alrighty. Alright, so now we're going to pop this in the freezer for about maybe 10 minutes. so that it gets firm, or you can leave that at room temperature until it gets a crust, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to get it super smooth. All right, see you in a little bit.